Now, to calculate the angle between these two vectors, we're going to use the fact that the cosine of this angle is the dot product of v dot w over magnitude v times magnitude w. So we'll calculate all these three values. To do that, we'll first begin with v dot w. That will be 10 times 1 plus 1 times 10. So that's 20. 10 plus 10. Magnitude v for us will be the square root of 10 squared plus 1 squared. Magnitude w will be also the same, square root of 1 squared plus 10 squared. So both have magnitude square root of 101. So when we plug those two in, or there's 3 in, right? Because it's 3 values into that formula. The cosine of the angle between v and w is 20 over the square root of 101 times the square root of 101. So that's 20 over 101. So if I use my graphing calculator, a scientific calculator, theta would be the arc cosine, or the cosine inverse of these two are the same thing, of 20 over 101. So we'll see, using my calculator now, 20 divided by 101, that will be in degrees, which is what we were asked to do. We're not rounding until the final answer, and then we're rounding to the nearest tenth. That is 78 degrees, 0.6, so 78.6. There's always something to be careful about when you're doing this kind of problem, which is draw the two vectors just to make sure that the angle between them is acute. Sometimes there could be some sort of confusion with orientation, with an angle being too large. Most of the time this is going to be fine. I always like to draw them just to be safe. You have a 10,1 in here. They're both in the first quadrant. And a 1,10 in there. So pretty clear that the angle is acute. Even if it weren't, it'd be closer to 180. I just like to draw them to make sure that my calculation makes sense. But that is the answer to this question.